Beverly.
And I'm Carol Frieswick, and this is my messy studio, like most people's studios.
Right. And you did film us before when the two of us went out to Millville and Blackstone. We went to get photos in 3 places, right?
Yep.
One was the lock,
Millville Lock,
then the other one was
the water tower near the police station in Millville, and then we went to the Blackstone Gorge,
we went to 4 places.
and then we went to, I don't know where it is, but it's near the baseball field where there are nice big train trestle with 6 archways.
Right, it was 4 places. Okay, and we went out hiking, had to get out of the house, and we wanted to get information for paintings. It was too cold to paint outside, so that's why now we're finishing this off by painting in Carol's studio. What are you going to paint?
I'm going to paint one of the archways in Blackstone, and I have it on my computer, I think
Okay,
over there.
Okay.
And there's a nice light coming in from the back, and I want to try to capture that light and how it reflected on the inside of the trestle.
Okay, and now I'll do Millville, and you're going to do it in pastels, right?
We're going to be working in pastel.
Okay, so I wanted to do something different, and first I thought I'd watercolor, but because we're going to go back and forth between the two of us, I thought acrylics dries faster and it'll be easier to be able to fit in between the pastels. So I'm doing acrylics and you're doing pastels. So this filming will be kind of jumping between the two of us. So I hope you enjoy it, and we need 2 minutes to set up. Okay, we went down the path, and down the path we went to this rock formation. Carol and I have been there many times, and this was in spring, and really liked the colors because it's kind of the mint green and then the purpley rocks. So that's why we went down the path again, but we went down in the fall. So in the fall, here you got, look at the colors. They're so different. You can go to the same place and have lots of things to paint. So this one here, the colors are so different. And if I painted that, I would have to decide what to paint, whether I painted just this or the whole thing. Sometimes you can kind of, ooh, that might be good. That might be good. The whole, oh, let's just do the path. It's tricky. You see so much outside, you have to pick and choose. So that's the hard part. So once you pick and choose, you know what to paint. Ooh, there's that rock formation. Great. Could do the whole thing, a lot of work, but maybe just that, or just that. So, picking, planning, you can't just go out. Carol and I went on a day like this, and it was fine, but I wanted snow. So I went back, Carol, and I wanted snow, so I took a couple more photos with snow. So I focused on this tree, and the snow, and the rocks. And I took another one where I zoomed up on the rocks in the trees. So now with all these photos, I have to make a plan. Okay, I think I like this one. Can you see that with the... Okay. Let me... I'll fold it up. There, can you see that on the camera?
Yep.
Okay. Now, my plan. I can make a line sketch, or I can make it like Carol did a really nice job where she used shapes, the dark shapes. And that's kind of the next step. So, do I want to do a square or a rectangle? This is just a plan. Or do I want to do a long, narrow one? I don't know. So this is my planning. And it can be fast and kind of scribble, but just as long as it gives me enough information. I don't want a dead center, so I can divide it with the law of thirds. So if I put a line straight across, dead center, I don't want a dead center. Okay, this tree could be dead center, or this tree could be dead center, but I think this photo, I'm not sure how much. I think if I use this, I could do all of it. If I could this here or just this. I think I'll try this. So let's put the tree here. We have a big line. going here to here. So that's angled. So there's a kind of a shape here. Okay, now the rocks, the rocks take over half, so, okay. This doesn't have to be perfect, because it's just a plan. Okay, this is dark. So this is now, first it was line, now I'm going to try with the value. A lot of times you have a value scale 1 to 10, but I'm just going to do 1, which is white and black, and see if the abstract design looks okay. I think Carol did this step right when we were outside, when she was planning, to make sure her layout looked good. So in there, for this, let's say this tree is here. It's got branches, things behind it. We have some, have 1, 2, 3 shapes maybe, and then not maybe I could keep the trees back here, or eliminate them. Okay, that's one plan. Let's try this plan. I don't want dead center, so my big tree here is up here. This comes down to about middle. Okay, the rock, the middle here, so I can also move it over. I don't have to keep it exactly. If the layout isn't good from the photo, you can just move it over. Because I think this tree is way over on the edge here. So using the law of thirds, it'd be about here. So I'm changing the position because the layout would be better. So there. Now you have the rocks all down in here. It's more of a scribble, but it tells me where my darkest value is and my lightest. If I wanted to make it not just, let's see, let's grab another marker. Maybe that will work. I think I'll put another value. The trees back here. And these brush back here. It's very rough. I have a few trees there, but it gives me enough information. There's a dark tree here, and this is all medium dark. There. That's another plan. And the third plan can be, I could do this one, or this where I do more rocks. Maybe this. I'll put that long. So it doesn't happen right away. It takes me time to figure out what I want to do and how I want to do it. So I think the rocks would be all down in here. I'd have the trees back here kind of very light, shown behind it. And then this would be all dark. Sometimes it doesn't hurt to ask 2, 3 people what they think, which one would be the better composition. Because if you have a good composition, it goes better. Which one you like better, Carol? Top one or left one or right one?
I think I like the top one.
Okay, I'll do the top one. Thank you. Okay, I need to get set up for my painting. Okay, if I was outside, I would have sat there or stood there and did this. And now I can do a value study. Maybe a bigger, sometimes people do it in pencil, marker. If I'm doing watercolor, I could do, acrylic, but a watercolor value study goes fast and it shows you now the values. You want a light, and then you want a darker value, and then maybe super dark. So, maybe this could have been a little lighter, but you know what I'm trying to aim for. Light, medium, dark. So if I want to do a quick plan, maybe the very, very light, I'm just going to make believe it's there. I'm not going to paint it. If I was doing watercolor or acrylic, you paint it in. I'm not going to even paint it in. So I'm going to work at this one and this one. So I'll do the mid value and then the dark. So I have to now check my photo. And oops, in this photo, all the rocks are dark. So I can just go ahead and put all the rocks in dark. This is not a finished composition, but again, it gives me a feeling of the layout, whether it looked good or not. So, and don't take forever. It's nice, fast. It's a plan. Okay, there. And I have a tree here. And behind the tree, I think I'm going to make believe all the tree branches, leaves, who knows. Maybe I'll bring it out a little further. I'll change it a little. There. I could suggest a couple trees out here. So I know my sky will be light. The sky is a little darker than the snow, but they're both light on the value scale. And these are my darker places. So now once I have that in the mid-tone, now I can play with this dark here. So this dark, there is actually a dark line going here, kind of going up into here. These little dark edges here. There's a kind of a line going down, one here, kind of dividing the rocks out. A little dark in there. Maybe there's a little ridge here, come out. Dark on top of it. Kind of light there. It's dark back here. Maybe put that in. Maybe I could put leaves. These are like a shadow coming. I like that little shadow coming down here. Thinking the composition. Value there. I think it could work.
Yeah, that looks good.
That looks okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for picking the one you liked. Because sometimes it doesn't hurt to ask one or two people, is my layout good? Is my composition okay? And now I'm playing with the dark, medium, light. And I'd hoped, I think I could even put some weeds kind of making you look like this, hopefully. You know, get you into it and then look up to my tree. I don't know. But I have now kind of feel so. I need to mix up paints. And I'll show you a few other value sketches. This is fast and quick, but let me show you, because after that you have to figure out color. This is one I did of the same composition, but then I kind of played around with watercolor colors, how I was going to paint it. Here's a smaller version of that tree without the rocks. So I did it medium, dark. So you have a feel for, this is a long narrow. Now I'd have to, if I want to take watercolor, do I want to paint it with this color theme? Or do I want to use that color theme? Or do I want to do what's out there? I can do what's out there. Here shows you what I'm going to show you next is I need to mix up my paints. Here's that same tree here. This one was done in the spring, summertime. I used this tree in about half of the here, and then I did this. It's more of a scribble, but it's kind of a dark, medium light. And then I played around with other colors, and then I played with painting of it. So that's a square one. This shows you a whole bunch of little same tree, different tree, same tree that you noticed. Now, what I'm going to be doing next, and it's not watercolor, but I'm going to do an acrylic. I had to pick a color theme. Carol, you had a color wheel here, didn't you?
Right behind you.
Oh, thank you. Okay, let me look. Oh. What I did.
I use it a lot, so I don't leave it too far.
I know. I packed one to bring here, and I'm not sure where it is right now. But you know, when this is in black and white, I could do it like I see outside, but I don't have to. Do I want to make it like it's stormy out? Make a night scene? Or do I want to do, like summer? My first photo was the summer, you know, with the warm colors. Yeah, see here? I did that, last summer or so. So I think I took the color wheel. I didn't use pure yellow. It was a lot of yellow green. Oh, the trees are so much yellow green. So straight across from yellow green was a red violet. Ah, see the red violet? So my first wash was like a yellow green, kind of a thin red violet. I thought, yeah, let's play with that. So this was my little tiny color plan. And that's generally the size I might do for a color plan. And then I did a bigger painting of it.
That's really pretty.
Thank you. So that's the color theme I used for this. And I thought, okay, now this, whenever I have time or whatever, I can now take a half sheet of watercolor paper. I know my layout. We liked it. And then I picked my color theme. And it works. So I'm ready to do a big painting of that. These here were also plays of color themes, in which same tree, that's the V tree, and this one was really the opposite tree, but I made believe I changed it. Now if you look closely, you don't have to copy it exact. Play. Please play. This is a tree I used. I took this rock and made it big here, just to play. That's what art is. Please play. Don't get worried about photorealism. I think that'd be fun if I made more little hot. Do you think it should be a little taller for this to make it look like it's going off the page?
Well, it depends what you want. If you like rocks, you could make the
I do
more
like
detail in the rocks.
You know I do like rocks. So, hey, yeah, that's why I did these rocks. So, my job right now is instead of doing the watercolor, I have to pick a color theme. And oh, here's my photo. It could be anything, but I can't use lemon, yellow, green, because that's summery. So, what color theme? We got the blue sky. Let's see, or
Orange and blue.
oh, okay.
A lot of orange
I
coming
like
down
that.
the weeds.
I like that suggestion, Carol. Thank you. Orange and blue. So, okay. I need to get my paints out. And I'm starting with a complimentary. I'll take your suggestion, orange and blue, see what happens. And what I'm going to do is take these like strong, but if I mix them, I can get a gray. And whatever gray I get, it's going to be my rocks. I'm not going to worry about what color the rocks are. I'm going to make the rocks the gray that come from orange and blue. And I'll show you that next time you come back to me. So right now, I'm going to try to mix up paints. Um, or should I show you where I'm going to put it? This is a very inexpensive acrylic palette. It is really a candy box that I just got for Christmas.
Ooh,
They're all gone. And I thought, when I paint with acrylics and put it on a paper plate, it dries too fast. And if it dries too fast, then I'll keep on mixing. But if you take a towel, a wet towel, and put parchment paper on it, your acrylic paints will stay moist for a long time. And then I can put my lid on it and seal it and come back. So I can paint for a little bit, walk away, come back. But if I just paint on a paint palette, the paint keeps getting dry and I have to keep mixing it. So this is a nice way to keep acrylics moist. Okay, I need to mix some paints, so here's my paint palette. This is just kind of new. I put all my kind of light, my warm, and then I went to cool, and I put some earth tones here. But I said I was going to use complementaries, orange and blue. Now I have no real orange, so I made an orange. Sometimes when they use blue complementary, people will use ultramarine blue, and they'll use burnt sienna, which is kind of like an orange brown. Those two they would then use as complementary. And then when you mix those two together, you can get an interesting gray. I'm going to mix it here, and then I'll add a little white to it. And see that gray come? So a lot of times people, even with oils, will use ultramarine blue and kind of the earth tone orange like the raw sienna. I'm going to try bold, bright color. So I made an orange, and I took cobalt blue instead of ultramarine blue. And what I did was I mixed up a pile, kind of the same value on the value scale. I think the value scale could be about a number, not a number 10. So we're about 7, 8 here. But so now I'm going to go about 4 or 5 in the middle and kind of really light here, like a 1 or 2. I don't want to take time to put a whole bunch, but I want to try to make a dark gray, a mid-tone gray, a light gray. So, but you take a little bit of blue and a little bit of the orange. That looks maybe a little more blue. A little tricky making the gray. If I have more, okay, this actually looks green. Let's add a little more orange and see what I have. Oh, that's just almost the same over here. Okay, maybe a little more. Let's leave that for now. Let's see if we can pull something with this orange and not the regular, that orange. I have a gray, but it's kind of a green gray to me. Well, I think I'm going to leave that. And let's see what we can mix here. Take some of this. Okay. It's almost a creamy gray. Yeah. Maybe that would work. Well. I think I need some more of the light here. Yeah, that has a little pink tint to it. And let me make a little more blue. Now, if I leave it on this palette, in no time this is all going to dry out. Oil paint, when I do this, stays forever. So, I'm going to put it over on my good palette.
So the surface of that is a wet paper towel or something?
Well, I'll lift it up and show you. This is parchment baking paper.
Okay.
Underneath there is a wet towel, sopping wet. And I think wax paper would work, but the parchment paper seems to stay dry here but cool to the touch. And it helps keeps the paint moist.
Wow.
Really nice. So here's kind of a gray. Now, I can mix up a variety more. It looks like a green gray, but that's okay. This is kind of a practice. Maybe I'll do a different color theme or a different orange, where usually you use this, an ultramarine blue. But I figured let's try something different and see what happens. Okay, put my ultramarine blue back here. And I have a big red orange. Which I'll sit here. I'll get a new one. Okay, this will stay moist. This is what I'll use if I want to do some mixing. So I have some colors I can choose from. So if I don't want to use it just as it is, and I may want to take this middle gray and make it more orangey, I can change the color. But even too, if I want to change the color a little more, go ahead and get a different orange, and I've changed it again. But at least I have something to start with. That's a mid-tone, a light tone, mid-tone, a dark tone. My sky is light, so I could just take it right here. But if I want to warm it up, I could make the sky kind of this gray, or I can make the sky pink. Snow, blue. I can make the snow really pinky looking and then just add blue touches, or I can make the snow blue and then add little accents of pink. But we're kind of doing a complementary color theme, and you can do it how you feel like you want to do it, but you're playing with warm and cool. Now this is my easel I take out, and it can be used for oils, watercolor. I'm using it now for acrylic, but usually my plan is small. And what I do is, my husband made these little boards, so I know what size I can quick sketch. So I started like with a 6x6, but if I do want to go larger with my plan, I could add on to the top if I want, or add over here if I want. But this is again a plan. It's not my finished painting. I'll see if I like these colors. If I don't like the colors, I can quick do another plan. So I'm over here with a different color theme. I lightly penciled in. I put markings where the law of thirds are with pencil. I know maybe my rock here is kind of dead center, but that's not too bad. My tree's off center, my rock. I think I'll have some orangey little shrub stuff here, but we'll see. But now if we go back to here, okay, this is light, these are dark and medium. So I can now, this is just watercolor paper. I didn't even gesso it, it's just kind of a practice. So let me set this up here. I can now grab a mid-tone and throw in the color for rocks. I could take this mid here rock, and if I want to change it a little bit, I can. Maybe I'll add a little more mid blue to it. Okay. I'll grab the mid. I think I'll add a little more blue. And let's just fill it in because we know it's kind of a mid-tone. This mid-tone over here is a little more orangey. So I can mix that together. A little orangey there, orangey there. Just change it a little bit. Take the mid-tone and add a little more orange to it. here. I know it's not perfect, staying in lines, but at least it's getting a mid-tone. Let's try changing that mid-tone a little bit more, making it a little warmer. It's a little lighter there, so maybe I could grab a little bit of it lighter. It's a little darker over here. Maybe from the mid-tone, I'll go up a little to the middle value, but going a little darker.
Looking good, Carol.
Yeah, mhm. Sky, I think I'll just put in the blue. Take the lightest blue I have. Maybe I should go a little darker because my snow is very, very light. It's lighter than the sky, so I'll put my sky in a little darker. And I'll just go over everything and just try to get it. Oops, dirty brush. One thing about acrylics, if you don't like the color, let it dry, and then you can paint right on top of it. Watercolor, you do have to make perfect. So I think I'll try darker. Maybe I'll go a little higher than my 6x6. I could always cut this off, but with the plan, I can do whatever.
food is over.
Is that right? Okay, well, I'm still trying to put in the basic shapes. I'm trying to put in some darks. I'm deviating from the pure complementary by adding like kind of a blue-green, mostly blue, way behind the tree. And I'm trying to leave some spaces where I can see the sky. But I think I'd like to put a lot of foliage back here. That's mostly kind of blue, green. I'm going to take blue, maybe I'll warm it up a little bit with the orange. Make it look blue-green. Oh, yeah, it still looks kind of, maybe that's a little too warm, but if it dries, that'll be fine. Needs to be a little darker. I'm trying to use a large brush. I could try even larger and then try to go smaller. But it's good to start with a large brush and work down. Trees in the distance, I'm not going to have them so green. I'm going to have them, I'll take the green, brown, the orange, and make it somewhat blue in the distance. I could even make it almost like a blue purple. See. Could be too dark, but I could change it to, let's say there's a kind of a, since it's a play, maybe I'll make a mountain range back here. A different ground. And these are in front. We'll see. I think I'm going to put a shadow over here. Kind of bright. There's a little shadow here, but maybe a little too bright, but we'll see. A little shadow on the edge. Shadow comes in there. I put in the lights, mid-values, playing around with some more mid-values here, deciding whether I'm going to change the background from just trees to maybe a range back here, put mountains here. I think I'd like to put 2 trees instead of 1. So this is a plan. I usually do it smaller, but just to get the feel of colors. And maybe I'll put a tree right there. In with the foliage, so I'll have another tree. I don't think you can see it yet, but maybe just There. Let me put some of the light, I'll try to put some of the strong orange there. Choose there. There. Yeah, I kind of like 2 trees there instead of just the one. And I can then change the background if I want to. I think this could have a little more distance if I want to. So right now it's plain. What's nice about acrylics there. It's changed it again. Or if I want to come up a little higher, I could change the rock formation because acrylics is, yeah, it just covers it up very nicely. Maybe shadow on the edge. Okay.
So is there a limit with acrylics with how many layers you can put on?
No, there isn't. You can put a layer on, let it dry, change it, and just keep. I actually working on watercolor paper. It will go on different if I use a gesso board. Right now it grabs a different watercolor paper. Sometimes my plants I'll just use a scrap mat board, and it actually grabs the paint different. But this is just a kind of a demo to show you how to do a little plan and to do it in acrylics instead of just going right to your painting. What do you like to paint in? Is it oils or
Me?
Yeah.
Watercolor.
watercolor? Okay. Watercolor, you really have to make your decisions, right? For the colors you're going to use. Acrylics, you can test it. It's good to make a decision, but you can play on the canvas. had to try to get a darker value. Then I'll put some sky holes in and some branches. I think I want to change the foliage back here to kind of pull your eye over. So this is kind of a play, which is fun for designing. Maybe I should give myself a time limit on how much I play on this one and then do a different one.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
Bob will come back for me whenever I call him.
Grab another paper towel.
I suppose Carol might kick us out at some point.
I'd be playing down here all afternoon anyway.
If you do a sky hole, they say make it darker in value than the sky itself. Don't know the reason, but and making different shapes. I'm going to grab my there. I tried the mid value, middle gray, blue, and that one spot makes it look like it's a hazy day. So I think I'm going to go back to the pure cobalt blue. Or maybe I'll put a little different blue in with it, maybe to lighten. Let's see what happens. That's not too bad. I think I like that blue better. Going out a little larger than I had originally planned, but that's okay too. I'll try that grade blue. I'll take the middle gray I made and the pure blue, and let's see what happens if that a little darker I need to make it look like there's a bushes way back there, a mountain range. So I've changed some trees way in the back. And then I'll take the gray blue, and these trees will be closer. Put the foliage back in there and see what if I like it. Otherwise, I'll show you how I can take it right out and maybe try building back there. That's supposed to look far away. This is supposed to look close. Put a shadow in the upper half. Take that mid of the darker blue orange. Take the middle gray, but I'm going to make it more blue. Maybe I'll put a branch right there. Up branch there. There's tree in the distance there. The shadow side here. Okay, let's take some orange. Tree in the back has some branches too. I might have to go to a finer brush, but we'll see. you need to step back. You stay too close. Nope. There you go. Okay. Getting there. I need to make my rocks a little darker in places and snow lighter. This is now the play time. You add some, subtract, take away. There's a big shadow going down here. And that shadow actually came off. Brown color. And just let it dry and paint over it. Maybe that blue makes it feel more of the blue-orange tone than the blue I had originally. The blue back there would be kind of distance. Change it. Snow is tricky. Some people say just put it all blue and then slowly bring your warm in it. Other people separate it, but it's just fun to play and see what happens with different ways. I have part of this is kind of that orange tint. I don't know if you can see it. See that it has that orange tint to it? Snow has that lighter orange tint. I'm just plain changing the shapes how I feel like I want to change the shapes. I could even play with putting snow on the branches. Maybe. I'll leave it for now and I can always take it off. Changing it around. I put snow on the branches, but maybe I should take them off. That wasn't, there was no snow originally on the branches. Let's see what it looks like in a smaller frame.
Yeah, that makes a difference sometimes too.
Yeah, see that's zoomed up a little better?
Oh yeah, look at the difference.
See the difference? I made it too large. Yeah,
Either way.
yep, this works this way. And, yeah, the composition should be like that. So, there, that would work. If I wanted to do mostly rocks, then I'd cut the tree down and have
Yeah.
it like this.
Yeah.
I think like that
Move
would
her
be
over just this way, just a
to the left.
smidgen. Yeah. You get
Yeah.
a little more of that orange. leaf.
Yeah, that's why I want
Yeah.
to go down here, here, and go around. This branch I should have had a smaller brush. For it. One nice thing is if you don't like it, you can just take it right out. So, yeah.
Should put that mat on this and see.
Oh, yeah, here. Sorry.
I'll let you do it because I don't want to touch it.
Oh, beautiful. Look at this.
What a difference, huh?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, okay, nice job. You used the same color theme.
Yeah. Great. Same time. Oh no, yours was in the winter.
Yeah, I wanted to try the winter, and I threw snow on the branches. That wasn't there, but I could always take it out.
I gotta send you a JPEG of this one. Lisa. This
See
is
that?
the House of Douglas.
Ooh, very nice.
Came out good, didn't it?
Oh,
I've had that photo for years and years and years and never dared try it.
there, a few more branches. Some twigs coming up. So, your plans, you just play. Throw something in, throw a twig in, throw a weed in. If you like it, check your color theme. You can throw a weed in here. Make this bigger, throw some more weeds. Yeah. Okay.
The snow looks good. You get a lot of texture to it.
Yeah. Oops, wrong color. Want to put a little more highlight, a little more orange in on the tree. Look, too much up there now, right? Because it was a shadow.
That Barbara Janicki, she uses peach as a
Peach,
highlight on her winter scenes all the time.
like that.
Yeah, try it and see.
Well, see, this is all in the. Oh, look at that. Yeah. I add a little more warmth. That's my first original.
You can even put a dot or two on the tree.
Yeah, I first had that and I changed it to the blue, thinking maybe I should have, because it'd be in the shadow. Okay, let's change it and see what it looks like.
That's not all of it, just a few little highlights.
Yeah, good suggestion.
She uses that a lot. There's a painter up in Maine that uses this beautiful rosy color as a highlight color. Then I emailed him to ask him what color it was, and he says he mixes it, and he wouldn't give me the he wouldn't give me the formula.
Maybe I should.
But he has it just very sparingly in every painting, and it just pops it.
Okay, you know, I'm actually going to take a alizarin crimson with that orange, my original orange, and see how it changes it too. What do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty. Don't put too much.
How's that? I'll just smear it out.
When in doubt, smear it out. That's
Yeah.
my motto.
I bet there is a phone app to take a picture of something and identify the components of the color
Oh, really?
to say make
Oh,
this
yeah?
color just mix it this X of this and so on.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes these plans you can keep playing and changing and saying, okay, I want to add some weeds down here, and maybe I want to add a few orange or brown weeds over here coming through.
That makes a big difference.
Oh yeah, it's the accent. Maybe I could make it like a berry bush, right? My branches could have been thinner. This one went up. This one went out. These go up. These go. Well, should I put a little pure white accent someplace? See what I have? No, doesn't change it much. Maybe I could even put a little snow down here, right? That came down. Think it needs some down there?
Looks good there.
Yeah, my original sketch, I had it, yeah. I did not check this. See, I ended here, about here. But then when I used my photo, I did go larger. But as you...
But once you put your mat on, it got smaller again.
Right. So that's what a plan is. You can keep changing it, add to it. And then once you decide really the colors you like, and this was originally a 6 by 6, but I could double it to a 12 by 12, 24 by 24. And once I know, yes, I want a tree there. And I should play with light.
Oh, that was perfect.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
needed that little light,
Yeah.
right? Maybe
Maybe make the dark side darker.
yeah, you're right. Could do that too. Okay, with the dark, I'll take the blue, take a little bit of the orange, take a lot of blue. Maybe take a little alizarin and make it even darker. Nope, that's not dark enough. Look at that. Right?
Mm.
It changes every time you add a little something. Maybe I'll do a shadow going across. I think it needs a little more orange there, doesn't it? Anyway, that's the fun of playing. I hope you know that art is, you keep playing, changing it, adding. I think just kind of plan it out. Get yourself out there, take some photos, and do just some little pencil sketches like Carol was saying. You know, if you just kind of sit and sketch, then you could also just add color, whether it's watercolor to your pencil sketch or with acrylic or oils.
Some people use an Altoid box and make a little painting kit out of that, and they put a little tiny piece of paper in the cover, and they go out with that, and you can go any way you want. You can do it in the car; it won't make a mess. You can do it anywhere where it's find a nice warm spot out of the wind. You could paint all year round. It would only take you maybe 15 minutes to do a little sketch like that.
Now see, this is the same tree,
Oh yeah.
totally different color theme. Comes out totally different. So this one with the yellow green and the violet. So, and that's watercolor. Acrylics has a different kind of a stronger color look to it. If I wanted to make it a stormy day, I would then neutralize, almost use a lot of colors that were in the middle here section. As you can see, I already did. Almost this whole section's gone. And this one here, where a lot of my pure colors are still here. But, and as you can see, I went larger. Now, if I did want to play a little more and change it, I could come out here, or like we chopped it smaller. So, hey, go out, take a walk. The Blackstone Valley has lots of places to hike.
It's amazing how many people have not walked that bike trail.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely gorgeous.
Blackstone, Millville, Douglas, Upton, Sutton, they all have trails.
Milford
Upton,
has a beautiful trail.
Upton, Sutton, there's the town actually has a farm there. What's it? No, it's
Smith Farm.
So-
Is that Smith?
Shaw's Farm.
Shaw's Farm. Yes.
Right.
Yes,
And
they
they
have
have-
hiking there. A fella had I don't know his name. I've met him a few times. He actually went out and cut through the woods and made paths all over the place.
Great hiking trails. It's marked right where you park your car.
Several water features back there. It's really nice.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. We just kind of had an afternoon where we're going to play around with paints and pastels, and I hope you learned something new. Thanks for watching.